Um, really proud of our group. I think, those games are difficult to get in the flow when people are switching up defenses. They played man, they played 2-3 zone, they played a little bit of a 2-3 matchup, they played a little bit of a 3-2, 2-2-1. There was a lot going on. So I was just happy that we weathered the storm. Yeah, it got a little bit ugly when we got a little bit lax in the second half, but we did a good job of sticking to the game plan.
When you're playing a team like this where you have a big advantage in size, maybe experience and talent, what are you hoping to see from your team? Did you see it tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult to prepare for them because this is her first year there. She was at Virginia State last year. They hadn't played a game before this. So, personnel and just kind of looking at her her style of play from last year to prepare our team for what we're going to see is what we tried to do. So, of course, we wanted to get the ball in the paint, but then when they start packing it in the zone, you got to shoot. And I know that we can shoot better than what we displayed. But, I mean, that's first game. I think I'm not really worried about it. I see our players make shots in practice every day. But I was just happy to see leadership step up. I think Mo was great from the jump. Romy played really well. Paris, everybody contributed, but I think they set the tone.
Coach Mox, you had a great win tonight. I was wondering what your thoughts on this year's schedule is. Your first 7 games seem to be against teams who are relatively easier compared to other opponents you'll face later on. In fact, leading into the game with Vanderbilt, only 2 of those teams that you're playing had a winning record last year. How have you been preparing your team for this game and those games as well?
I think it's about us, at the end of the day. And I don't know if that's completely correct because I know we have a chance to play Nebraska in Destin. If they do what they're supposed to do and we do what we're supposed to do. So I think, whoever we're playing, we want to make sure we get our identity out there. We're playing the basketball, UVA brand of basketball that we want to play. So we need to go into conference very confident, and I think we have a lot of new kids. We have some returners mixing the group, learning to play together, learning where people need the ball. That's going to take some time for that to mesh really well. And, so each game we just want to get better at what we're trying to do.
Romy, did you know you were that close to 1,000 career points, and did you expect a graphic on the video board like that?
I knew it was close because we saw it before the game. And then Mo, I didn't know I hit it. And then Mo was like getting all hyped up. So I was like, oh, yeah. No, I wasn't expecting it.
What are your thoughts on your first actual game at JPJ?
I'm just blessed to be here, I'm happy to be here with Coach Mox and around the team because, I had some tough year last year, and I'm surrounded by the best people that can just make me better. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really excited to see what we can do as a team.
Mo, what are your thoughts on this first look at this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. We were really excited to get out there and finally play in front of the fans and get the first win under our belt. But no, I'm really excited, and it kind of just shows a little bit of what we can do, and we can learn a lot from this game, and I think we will. So yeah.
Mock, something that you said in the offseason was your style of play really requires a lot of rebounding. Tell me about your bigs and what you were able to, pick up in the offseason, how that was helpful today to get those rebounds because you really dominated at the rim.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of our identity, dominating the boards on both ends, but I mean, 23 offensive rebounds is a lot, right? So that was really good. But also defensively, we want to be able to, create some offense from our defense. So if we can finish plays, rebound, we can play fast. And, we're still working on, our transition. We got the speed, we got the talent, all that stuff. We just got to learn each other a little bit better. But I think that's going to be a niche of ours. I think our pace, our motor, we have multiple people that can come in and push the tempo is going to be big, and it starts with rebounding. So in the offseason, we wanted to get bigger and more physical. We got 5 bigs out of the portal. We got some big guards out of the portal. And just to enhance to what, Mo and Paris and all the returners were doing, Bree, we just want to make sure we just were deep and able to continue to put pressure on the boards.
We know that Mo and Paris are certainly at the epicenter of this team, but Romy finished third in a plus-minus score this game and led the team in rebounds. How did Romy impact the game in all phases of the game?
He led the team in rebounds. Romy's like, she played a lot of 4 today, but she's really a guard that can play the 4. She can do multiple things. She has a motor that's crazy, right? So she can run for days, but she's long, she's athletic. You know, in between drills and stuff in practice, she's going up there and grabbing the rim and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So she can rebound and she can track it down because of her athleticism. So offensively, she can drive, she can get to the mid-range, she can shoot. So I think we can move her around and just showcase her versatility.
And then do you have an update on Samaya Smith? We saw she wasn't able to play today.
Yeah, she just had a small knee procedure, but she'll be back.
Kamari, you had a great game today, and you were recently ranked 15th in the ESPN's top 25. Would you say you're feeling a little bit more pressure this season than in years past, and how are you handling the spotlight now that's on nationally on you?
Thank you, first of all. Second, I don't really think I feel a lot of pressure, and if I do, I have my team that is giving to me every day, and they kind of take that load off of me. But I'm blessed to be able to help put Virginia on the map, not just myself, but my team. And I'm soon enough will be, as a team, that 15th ranking in the country.
She should be number
And
one.
higher.
She should be number 1, not 15. But.
I know Tabby kind of had, huge size advantage tonight, and she'll face players more her size. But what do you think potentially she can add, as she appears to be a true 5, which you haven't really had here your first 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, she's physical. You know, she can finish, she can score, she rebounds, she blocks. She had 5 blocks tonight. I know sometimes it's hard when you have a huge size advantage, and you got to make sure you keep the ball high. People are trying to tie you up and double you and things like that. So it's harder to play against teams like that rather than play against true 6'4" and people that she can see eye to eye. But I think Tabby and the rest of our bigs, Caitlin. Danelle didn't get in today, but Danelle off the bench. I think all of our 5s bring a lot of physicality. They can dominate in the paint on both sides of the ball. So that was something that we really needed. I said it before. We had a lot of 4s that played the 5 here just before. They were talented, but to get true 5s in here was something that I wanted to do.
I'm guessing Mo might play more than 25 minutes in a closer game, but what does having Gabby to relieve her a little bit do for you that maybe you weren't able to do last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, Gabby, I thought she played well in her first collegiate game ever. But, having her and being able to trust her with the ball at the 1 allows us to free up Mo sometimes, right? Mo could play the 2 or even just get a breather and come out the game. And we didn't have that. We haven't really had that due to injury and some other things in the past. So I think it helps Mo a lot, which in turn helps the team. And then Mo's efficiency even goes up even higher because she can breathe for a second, even though she has a motor that could play 40 minutes. So I think Gabby did a great job. She set the tone when coming in defensively, added a lot of ball pressure. But she's a very physical guard. She's really, beyond her time a little bit as far as her physicality and her speed and just adjusting to the collegiate game.
If you could pick one thing that you were most proud of from what you saw tonight and one thing you'd like to see improved, which would each of those be?
Definitely turnover. Let me talk about what we need to improve. Turnovers, that's plagued us just a little bit in these early scrimmages and things that we did before this game. But I think, defensively, even though we got bored and, just lazy a little bit in certain areas, we did some really good things defensively on the ball, shooting gaps. And then rebounding. Rebounding was great. I mean, 58 rebounds, I don't care who you're playing, and is really, really good. So I like that. But turnovers, we have to get better at that.
Yeah, and then I was just wondering, going into the game, what was your message to the team, season opener, very anticipated season as well, and then especially going into halftime up by 36, what do you tell your team at that point?
Well, before the game, I just thought, let's play with joy. Let that exude. Let the character of our program shine through. It's about us again. We're going to embark on this special journey together, and I think that, there's a lot of great moments ahead, right? So I just want to stay present, enjoy each other, enjoy the moment, create these lasting memories together. So that was kind of the message before, but, no matter who we're playing, it doesn't matter if we're playing number 1 team in the country or we're playing a Division II like we did opening up for an exhibition game. I want us to be consistent, and it's about us, and how we're going to approach games and compete. So that's the biggest thing. And in halftime, there were still some things we could clean up, so we just made some adjustments and tried to talk about, some things we wanted to clean up defensively. They were running a play that we wanted to talk about, and then also how to attack the zone. Thank you.
Thank you.